Wow.
I have 16 brothers, is my point.
16.
16. Well, 16 total. I have 15 brothers. Several of them have died of various diseases, and I was able to meet my youngest, which was 19, and we have one sister out of the lot, said Mariah, which is an absolute sweetheart. We clicked automatically, both born. So I think what you're doing is very admirable, because as the oldest living child, I have to go back and figure out what type of relationship I'm going to have with my other living brothers. Yeah. Because there were 15 guys that are out there that I never knew. So I think it's very admirable what you're doing. But if I'm going to do that, then I have to, one, make sure that I'm ready to take on that responsibility of the remaining 8. So when I asked you why you were here, common ground can't be your priority if this is your goal. Your daily goal from today on is to find a job. It may not be a suit and a tie. It may not be on the 12th floor. It may be at Walmart. It may be at Target. It may be whatever. But when you go to these facts to get your brothers and they ask you what job, they're not going to care about common ground. The fact that you were at common ground, and I'm working at Walmart, but that's only part-time, and then I went and got a job at Target, and then, I'm cutting some lawns in the neighborhood, or whatever that thing is that you come up with, that has to be your daily living. That's your rung each day, because your 2 brothers are at the top of the ladder calling down for you to come. And you sitting up in common ground listening to me. But for you today, that today is where you needed to be. Because I can coach, and we got Ken. We'll go ahead and do your hour, but we're going to talk about getting you a job. You have a way for me to contact you?
Yes, sir.
All right. We'll go ahead and give that to my wife. I'll call you and we'll schedule the time. So, do you have a resume?
Yes, sir. I got 2 of them.
Okay. I only need 1. How many pages are there?
1 page.
What do you do?
I'm a cook, and also the last job I had, I was a nutritionist assistant at a daycare.
Okay. All right. We'll go ahead and just got to figure out. Maybe I have to pick it up from here. Y'all meet what days?
Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay. Next Wednesday, have both of your resumes here, and I'll come pick it up so I can review it, and then we'll schedule your session after that, so we can go ahead and put your resume together. You got a suit, tie, all of that stuff to interview?
Yes, sir.
So what are your weaknesses?
My weaknesses is I have a slight
No, you ain't got no. We don't have no weaknesses. We just have you over-aggressive, you overachiever. We have no weaknesses.
I can be
your
I can be over-aggressive at times.
Good, but we're going to tell you how to answer that question, because that was a trick question that you will get asked in an interview. And if you say, well, I like to sleep, you ain't getting a job with me. So plain up. That ain't gonna work. So we're gonna give you some interview questions so you can go ahead and start practicing your answers. Because there's certain things an interviewer wants to hear. Whether it's Waffle House or the White House, there's certain questions that they're going to ask you that you have to be prepared for. All right, so that's what we'll spend our hour to do. And ultimately, your goal, getting over self so he can help others, your goal is for your 2 brothers. And I will tell you, you waste my time, so we don't do this twice. Because that's just where I am in life. If folk want to go, come on, let's go. I'm not going back. I put something on Facebook the other day, and everybody has done this. This isn't an old thing. But have you ever got to a door and you pushed it, and then you pushed it again, and the big old sign says pull? Yeah. That ain't an old thing, Roger. It's not an old thing. I'm just saying. But when you pushed it the first time and it didn't open, why did you push it again? Right. Said, but then I had an epiphany. God spoke. He said, because you don't look at the signs ahead of you. See, I'm so busy walking, I didn't see the sign that said push. I try to pull. So I'm not trying to pull you to get your brothers. Because at the end of the day, I don't know them. I will push you as a leader from behind for you to go get your brothers. So we'll go ahead and work through that in the hour, and I'll make sure that I get you all's thing. Anybody else on the reel? Ain't got to raise your hand to make me feel good. I'm good, because like I said, it's just paper. All right, so this is what I'm going to ask the rest of y'all. You know somebody that can benefit from a coach?
Not right off.
Okay, fair enough.
I do.
You know some? All right, you can get that to them. You know somebody? You can get them in a given hour. I think you cut out 12, didn't you? Ish, or not. You know somebody named Doe? How old's your daughter?
My daughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the hospital. You know somebody? All right. Put their name where it says certificate and titles. Do you know somebody young lady?
What? Don't hate me because your wife loves me too.
Look, let me tell y'all, between the rest of y'all, he's the main reason I had to go into ministry. The main reason why I had to go into ministry. Lord, I yield. So, fill out their name, and if you write on the back of that certificate for your friend their number, and write your name on there too, so I can call them and tell them that, you know, Tia Francis asked me to call. She wanted to give you this hour certificate. So if you write their name on the front, your name on the back, and with the phone number, I will go ahead and call them. James, what my company did today is we were able to give a couple folks a free 1-hour coaching session. So we're gonna move some folks from the positions they in.
Okay.
So I'm telling you that you're gonna have to go ahead and start marketing against some new folks, because these folks want to move higher.
Okay, wonderful.
See, because
Hey.
everything we do is not by accident.
Right.
See, common ground is ground,
It takes you to higher ground.
but it'll take you. Y'all ain't getting that.
Yes.
See, I can do an offer right on
I'm
for
there.
that.
I've
No.
been beating the dead horse for a long time.
I'm just saying, I'm not trying to come back and keep seeing the same face. If you work here, that's great, because there's longevity in your job. So, but it is time for us to come from common ground to higher ground. And we can sit and we can nod our heads, we can cheese and all that other stuff, and yeah. But I'm going to pop back up in here in about 3 months.
And you know, William, we got it on tape, so
Sure enough.
we can repeat this later on and show you what we're talking about.
I do need you to just delete the part where I sort of confessed all of
Yeah.
my I don't want to take you to the FBI.
No, I'm on Facebook, okay?
All right. But that's just a very valid point. And when I talked about your attitude, I always have tried to maintain a positive attitude. It's not the easiest thing to do. It is not the easiest thing to do. But then again, I said if I were just to send those folks off and stop worrying about what folks were thinking and just live in my purpose, said it wasn't the aptitude because nobody trained me to do what I've been doing over the last 6 years. There have been experiences in my life, different jobs that I have failed at that I could not understand why I went and got a real estate license and started doing real estate. Until now, we're now looking for property and I understand the zoning and this and the that with that. So I'm excited about the projects and the elevation that God has, but that elevation is not just for me. Regardless of who it is, when I say God, that can be Allah, that can be Buddha, that can be whoever your higher power is. I'm a Christian minister, so I try to teach from principles. So I'm not going to go through the whole, Jesus thing, but your higher power is what's important. And if you're not tapping into a higher power, that's why you can't move. Every once in a while, you got to change the batteries. Every once in a while, you're going to have to put the plug, the cord into the plug, so to get recharged. And so many of us walk day in and day out in circles, not going anywhere. And we can smile and we can cheese and we can have a good time, this, that, and the other, but our whole purpose in being here, we are created to do something. You have to find what that something is. T.D. Jakes' father had said that T.D. Jakes said about his father, that his father was a janitor. If you asked his father what he was, he would tell you he was a janitor. But he was a multi-billionaire janitor. Said because people locked away, Mr. Johnny mopped the floors. So Mr. Johnny, can you go ahead and do common ground? Sure he could. And he said that he had this little thing that he did when he mopped floors. Said then the church upstairs said, well, Mr. Johnny, can you come mop our floors? Well, certainly I can. Said, but he couldn't do both. So he went and got Roderick, and he said, okay, Roderick, because they want me to mop the floor, you got to mop the floor just like I mop the floor. All these people, anywhere you went and you saw a janitor that mopped the floor like this, you knew they had to be trained by Mr. Johnny. To this day, Mr. Johnny still mops floors because he's just a janitor. He just got a big old bank account. So it doesn't matter what you are. The fact that, his son is, all of that. But TDJ said he learned a very valuable lesson in that. He said because it was just a simple principle, as simple as it is to mop a floor. And I've mopped floors at my own house, and it looks shiny when it's wet, and then when it's dry, it streaks everywhere. I need to get Mr. Johnny to come and do my floors. So mopping the floor is not as easy as one would think. But the one thing that people liked about this guy's floors is there was never any streaks. And he would do that right on out the door. And all of his people did it. So if you're going to be a janitor because that will increase. If it's a cook, whatever it may be the best grip maker you can possibly be. So when I go into a restaurant, I know these are Roderick's grits. I do not like grits. I'm from up north. We do cream of rice. Cream of wheat, cream of rice. I don't like grits.
Well, they give grits down here, yeah. And I've never ate grits till I came to Atlanta, Georgia.
There's a lady at the church that makes some of the best grits. And it's to the point where if I get grits for breakfast, I know her grits. I know her grits.
And William, you're from the north?
Yeah, New York.
Your wife's from the north?
I'm from the Midwest.
Okay. So grits and all that kind of stuff is new to you too, then? Oh, it's not?
They grits and stuff. We eat grits.
Oh, they got sweet
And cream of wheat.
Be the best grip maker. How many of y'all got a story? You got a story, right?
I got a screenplay.
Everybody got a story. I don't care who you are. Everybody got a story. Then how come y'all ain't authors?
I am.
You said that you wanted to share so people wouldn't do and live the life that you had to live. That's author.
Yeah.
Because if I can't get to you, and I can go on Amazon or a blog and read about a story, that makes you an author. Folks get upset when I walk into a room and they have to read. That's why I don't give out my bio anymore. Because you got to do the whole Reverend thing. Because that's officially my title. There's some perks. You get a discount at Zaxby's if you were Reverend. There's some perks to that. You got to wear a collar, but you do get a discount at Zaxby's.
Yes.
Advocate, activist, author, co-writer, or contributing writer, which is what co-writer means. Said I put a chapter in somebody else's book, so I'm a contributing writer. Multipreneur, because I have two companies that I'm the CEO of. That one does HIV and faith, training churches, how to deal with folks with HIV. Everybody been hurt by a church in here. I know that because I was hurt by one too. Training them, that's going extremely well. So then you got the whole Atlanta Metro, which we're doing some great collaborative work. So you got 28 companies that are working with me. I got my coaching job. Got the coaching job where I'm pushing folks to do some of the things. Because whatever your goal is, we can go ahead and push you there. Or whatever. Then you got to say that I'm a son. I'm a nephew. I'm a cousin. They're all titles. Husband. Son-in-law to my wonderful mother-in-law. Makes a good sweet potato pie, y'all. I'm just saying. But these are the things that we have to start thinking of. I'm not just William anymore.
Yeah.
When I woke up this morning, I am who I was created to be.
Okay.
Yes.
I am who I am created to be. There's a quick story, and then I'll go ahead and close. And it's I don't know how to really explain it. Some people will preach it as if it's Bible, and other people just preach it as a story that has biblical significance. But it's called the Circle Maker. And T and I had a conversation about the Circle Maker about 2 weeks ago. I want you to go home on your mirror. I want you to write a circle. Just get a marker that you can get off, with Windex or whatever, but write a circle. And I want you to write those things that you want accomplished in your life. You can make it look like a target if you want to. So for me, over the last 6 months, I had an injury. I used to be playing competitive sports, so I was actually fit. I've gained a lot of weight. like a lot of weight. Y'all would not believe how much I actually weigh. No, can't get you better. You ain't seen the little fourth graders I beat up on. Eventually, boy, I have to triple one going to first base. So, but you write a circle, and on the outer circle are the little goals. So, I want to go ahead and lose 20 pounds. That's something I can get knocked out in 30 days, or whatever. But the middle circle is that real core hard thing. That's what I'm working towards. So for Ken, my two brothers out of defects. So maybe on one of the outer circles, it's your job. On the outer circle, it's your resume. For you, it's self. So to be self-sufficient may be the thing in the middle. But in order to do that, I have to, and I'm just making up goals. I need to get my apartment. I want to go ahead and get a car. I want to write, in order to do those two things, I got to write 3 books by the end of 2016. So you actually have a target. Now you got to go ahead.
Because I have to write 3 books.
Oh, isn't that something? Go ahead, Holy Ghost, and speak.
Alright, that's it.
You may have to duck the shade, or if you write it big enough, you'll be able to see through it. So, but you have to put those type of things in your face every day. Because for Ken, when he gets up tomorrow morning, you know what? My friend invited me to go chill at the park. And he gonna go to the park. Well, you know what that happens to your two brothers? They are this close right now. If it's just about you getting a job, they're this close to you right now. Can you reach me just from there? Just extend your arm. Just extend your arm to me.
I try.
You see how close we are? You go to the park tomorrow. See what happens? Common ground next week.
No.
You don't get that resume updated. You don't go to a website at the library if you ain't got internet at wherever. See what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You got to make your thing your thing. I don't care if my friend Roger calls and says, oh, there's such and such and such going on. If my thing has been accomplished for that day, I can go ahead and deal with Roger.
Yeah.
If my thing ain't done for that day, I gotta get you another day, Doc. Oh man, come on. Nah, I gotta get you tomorrow. And if tomorrow, and when he calls tomorrow, if I want to go hang out with my boy, I gotta get my thing done.
Yeah.
Your goal is, if it's 5 jobs that you need to apply, if that's what your goal is, if that's what you put in your circle, if it's five applications you need to send out, you need to be doing 7.5, because if that day comes that you just don't feel like getting up, at least you got 25 applications out there.
Wow, yeah. Makes sense.
But you got to come up with the goal. That thing got to be in your face. When you got your allergy, your thing was to get to the ER, get a shot in your butt, get a pill to get your face swollen. But Norris, man, there's Cinco de Mayo. Let's go get a drink. He'd have been walking around with a swollen face. But that made sense. If you had saw Norris with a swollen face, but all he needed to do was to get to the ER, get a shot and a pill. But you know how many folks will walk around with a swollen face for some bullshit?
A lot. I see it every day.
Roger ain't trying to get me to my goal. He gonna get deleted from my phone. Or I'm gonna have to charge him that, Roger, if you that friend, this is what I mean by charge. I need you to ask me every day, before you ask me anything else, did you get your thing done today? And I'm going to give him permission. Yeah, I got it done. Well, dog said, let's go do Cinco de Mayo. Or Cinco CS for Roger, because he tried to do Cinco Siesta and Cielo and Cinco Diaz and all that. Whatever that thing is, I'm going to charge him as my friend. And if Roger says, you know what, I ain't got time for that, man, you know, I just want to go out and have a good time, delete. And folks were like, oh, that's so cruel. You deleted Roger, got your phone and Norris. If I need to get Roger, I know how to get Roger. And I ain't trying to be funny, I just need to show up here on Wednesday. Because 9 times out of 10, folks that ain't willing to push you to where they need to be are going to be in the exact same place where you left them at. And that's real. Gonna be in the exact same spot. Now you know I gotta talk about you, dude. You know I'm coming to this side of the table. How long ago were we at Evolution?
Maybe a month.
Couple months. What was the one thing you told me, because I'm gonna call you out on it, that you wanted to do so bad? Oh, Mr. Francis, I wanna do it, I got to do it! What was that thing?
Go to school.
Go to school. Had the nerve to get my number. Called me, James, a week later, asked me about financial aid. He got me on a good day.
All right.
I told him to go down to what college were you trying to go to? Georgia State, I think?
And then Metro? Where were you going?
Someplace.
Well,
Which one of them
where you
schools?
going? Where'd you want to go?
I learned everything, I think.
Okay.
Right. Go down to the financial aid office. They're going to give you all the books you need on financial aid. I'm going to do it. Oh, Mr. Francis, I'm going to do it.
All right.
I asked him today, if you in school, I forgot to go. If that's what you want to do, then
You talking to me,
I-
not to you.
come on. We ain't worried about, see, you getting all focused. You allowing your friend to take you to your higher place. See, because as soon as you lost focus, I was getting ready to tell you, I may have a scholarship for you. But, and I used that, I just wanted to use that. I told you, I'm not here to offend nobody, I'm here to help you overcome. I say that all the time. We get so all focused on what he is doing,
Right.
he ain't gonna help you get through school.
Exactly. Yes.
You know what enlightenment is? When you come up with ideas on what you want to do. Enlightenment.
That's all I'm asking today. That's all I'm asking. Because I knew I was going to ask you, did you get to school? And you at least told me. So can you make me this promise? No, don't even make me the promise. Make yourself the promise. That if that's what you, because a lot of times, James, I find that I can sit up here and we can have a whole conversation about what's got a tail, eats nuts, runs in the park with two little teeth in the front. And folks will always say Jesus if they're talking to a preacher. Because that's what they think I want to hear. I'm really talking about a squirrel. But they'll say Jesus until they're blue in the face. Because you're a preacher. Don't tell me what I want to hear. Because my dream is not, I got some books I'm writing, but my dream is not your dream. Your life is not my life. Our stories, there's only one thing that's common about our stories, is the fact that we were here today.
Yes.
And we all should turn the page at the same time. When I come back, I am supposed to hear my 3 books are completed. I started an outline on a book, and because I'm doing better, I can go ahead and assist people in their betterment. I filled out the financial aid paperwork. You know what? I went to DFACS and I talked to them about my 2 brothers, but they said that, hey, I got to get a job and I have to have a stable place to live. Do you have stable housing?
I'm staying with my grandmother.
Okay. That's going to have to be in your circle.
Yeah.
Because grandma ain't trying to raise 3 boys. So at 32, they're 14, 15, you're going to have to start looking for at least a 2-bedroom.
Because they claim they have to have their own separate room.
Yeah, they do.
Coming from DFACS. Because I was going to say, if they said that, I just want a bed out of DFACS. But if DFACS is saying you need a separate bed, then you're going to have to get a 3-bedroom. Or you're going to have to get a 2-bedroom and sleep on the couch. That's the reality of it.
And Keontae, there's a book. Do you read much? There's a book that I think would help you a whole lot. It's called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffries.
That's good. That's good.
And she talks about how to get past those obstacles that make you feel uncomfortable sometimes, you know? And I'm telling you something, Keontae, going to school, if that's a fear, I don't know if it is or not, but guess what? Think of it this way. You're going there for the first time like everybody else who's going there as a freshman, okay? So they're all in this mystery state of what's going to happen, what's expected and all that. For the first time, you're all on the same playing field. How you orchestrate yourself from that point on will determine how successful you're going to be. But see, you're in total charge, not the professor, but you. So you can go in there and you can orchestrate that professor. You can give him some ideas that he may not have ever came up with. So feel the fear and do it anyway, because you'll find out most of the time, guess what? It ain't as bad as you thought it was.
Fear is nothing more than inactive faith. That's all it is, inactive faith.
Who's the author?
Susan Jeffries.
It's just that simple. When you activate your faith, there is no room for fear.
Yes.
I was, matter of fact, I was texting my cousin yesterday, and same thing that you were saying, I told her, I said, I got to delete some people, a lot of people out my life, because I'm not where I need to be at, and they're holding me back because of family issues, friend issues, and I'm like, this is like really getting the best of me right now, and I need to focus on what I need to do in life and move forward.
The disciples, he put on a ship and sent them away. And then he sent the crowd away. And then he went into the mountaintop to pray alone. Ain't the easiest thing to do.
No.
But again, how can Tia, my wife, I love her, this, that, and the other, she done fallen in a pool. Help, help, help. Ain't nobody running to help. I jump in the water. And in the storm, we both drown because I can't swim. So what I got to do is I got to step away and learn to swim. I become a lifeguard because I can swim and jump in and she can bring me underwater too. Now that I'm a lifeguard and she has fallen in the water, I can now jump in and I know the proper technique to get her calm, relax, so we can both get back to shore. A lot of us jump in and we can't swim ourselves. So in order to do that, there's two things that I need to do. If I want to be near her, is say we're going to go take swimming lessons at the Y. Both of us. Or if she's really afraid of water, I got to leave her where she is. I know where to find her. She's still going to be afraid of water. And with family and friends, and that's exactly why I said family and friends, their attitude will adjust your altitude. Antonio, man, why are you trying to do, some positive stuff, man? Come on. Get your thing done first. And the one thing that I have found is regardless of how bad I have messed up, how bad I thought I disappointed my mama, whatever it was, she's still my mother. The one thing that my father said to me, and I'm going to close with this, is my little sister said, well, what were you thinking, coming to Boston and meeting him for really the first time? I said, to be very honest with you, I was going to cuss his ass out. That's exactly what I told him. I was going to cuss his ass out. You have not made an effort in 42 years to reach out to me. 42 years, that's a lifetime. You haven't made that effort. You knew where I was for most of that time, and you didn't make that effort.
Exactly.
And he said very simply, you could have cussed me out, but I'm still your father.
All right.
So folk can get mad, they can get upset, they can get disappointed because you weren't there, such and such and such and such. But being there, if you're not living in your true destiny, does not serve them a purpose.
Wow.
Because you're just there. But when you get to your altitude, don't step on that rock because it's a loose rock. Go to your left. Yeah, put your hand right there because you've already climbed up that mountain. That's how we help our family and friends. My presence doesn't mean any. I was at a funeral Saturday. I didn't know the person in the casket. My presence didn't make the family feel good or bad because I was just present. The one that made them feel better was somebody that had been in their lives, had fed into their lives, or whatever, that knew what to say to comfort them. You can't, and again, from a pulpit, looking down, there has to be you on your mountaintop in order to direct them to get to the mountain. Because you being down, if I'm behind Roger, behind a whole bunch of folks, I can't see the stage just like they can't see the stage. I can't see the trouble that's coming. But from a higher place, I can see north, south, east, and west. I see them coming and I see them going. If you were driving in on 85 north and you see clouds over Atlanta, you go ahead and get on 20 or you get on 285 and you can go around the storm. If Antoine is in Atlanta, he don't know when the rain Antron, he doesn't know when the storm gonna be over. But he don't know the storm is just in Atlanta because the sun is shining at Turner Field. So he stops at Georgia Dome. I'm just gonna ride it out. No, man, if you just come 2 more stops, it's sunshine, the party's still going on down here. You can't see that when you're in it. So you gotta step out, give your permission, first of all, give yourself permission to step out of it. It's okay. Because if you weren't there, they would figure it out. That's the one thing I have, because have a job and get fired. You'll find out how important your position really is. Because as soon as you leave, they come over, spray your desk down, and somebody else is in there within the next week or 2 weeks doing your job. Regardless of what my title and my position was, they got somebody doing your job real quick, fast, and in a hurry.
And probably for a lot cheaper.
So you can step out of your family and friend situation to get yourself to the top of the mountain. And then when you step back in, now you got something to offer. Because I shouldn't be stepping back in the same situations over and over. I found myself as an advocate always fighting for the same stuff because I'm not changing it. Then we just had this conversation 2 weeks ago. You ain't doing nothing for folks with HIV. You ain't doing this for the homeless. You ain't doing it. Look, you know what? It's okay. Don't do it. Because I'm going to step over here, get on my mountain, and I see a grant coming. I see a business opportunity. I see an idea for a book. I see a whole lot that you can't see in your stuckedness. So that's what I wanted to encourage you all and just leave you again. How high will you climb? And if you are willing to go all the way, then damn it, every day it needs to be all the way, not halfway. It needs to be all the way. If you say I'm only willing to go halfway, well, at least give it your best to go halfway. And then maybe halfway through, you'll be like, you know what, I think I can go a little bit further. Because what you'll find again is when you are in that higher altitude, in your destiny, in your purpose, in your greater, in your greatness, all of a sudden things don't look the same. That job ain't as far away. My brothers are not that far away. That book is not as far away as I thought. T.D. Jakes said, turtles and giraffes? A turtle can only see as far as a turtle can see from their perspective.
Right.
But a giraffe can see a whole lot further because they have a higher perspective. Be giraffes in this room today. And even if there are some turtles, that's okay too. Be at least the best turtle that you can be. Everybody can't be a leader. Then be a great follower. I have a friend that is a great follower. Anything that I ask him to do, he gives it 110%. He gonna be there before I get there. Said, carry my book. And I'm like, dude, I don't need all of that. But that, he's being a great follower. And I miss him now because I'm out here and I'm like, God, I wish he was here. This, that, and the other. But now he is moving into his leader thing. Because he realized that as a follower, I can't ever be a leader. So that clicked in one of these sessions. It clicked in his head that as a